Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Chef Eats. Today we are going to make a spicy quinoa vegan salad. Vegan spicy quinoa salad, spicy vegan quinoa, however you want to say it. So right now I'm making black beans from scratch. You really can skip this. You can use canned beans. I just love black beans. So I have here a cup of black beans, like 3 cups of water, 2 onions, 4 cloves of garlic. I put some curry powder, salt and pepper, and I'm going to add a bay leaf. Again, you can skip this totally, and I'm using a cup of black beans because I eat black beans with my eggs in the morning. I put them with rice and make rice and beans. I use lots of black beans. You can always like cut this recipe in half, and remember for your seasoning, you can always add more. You can't take it out when it's in. This is just some sweet potato that I've chopped up into cubes. I have my oven preheated at 375, and this is just some oil, a little bit of cinnamon, some chili powder, salt, and pepper, and I'm gonna rub that all over my sweet potato cubes. You don't even know how hard the voiceover part thing is for me. Like, I do this so many times. If I say too much, I delete it and do it again. The stress. I'm so not, and I'm a big talker. I don't know what happens when I start recording. Anyway, so here we are. I'm putting my sweet potatoes in the oven. While that's happening, I'm gonna cook some quinoa. I've been cooking off some quinoa. It's the same way that I cook my rice. Please refer to my rice video if you're not sure how to cook off this quinoa, and it came out pretty good, all nice and fluffy. This is just like a mixed quinoa package that you can buy. They're fairly cheap. And now I'm gonna start cutting my veggies. So this is a zucchini. I decided to show you some of my cutting secrets, I guess, to make chopping easier for you, because I know that this is like a big stressful part of cooking, is having to prep everything. So I'm just like kind of making an outline for myself. Once you get to the other way, like you see how I cut it in 4, once you get to this way, you really want to hold the pieces together so that they're not slippity sliding, like the way you see me using my thumbs on the outside and just kind of like pushing them together. And then you slice into cubes. It's not gonna be perfect every time, but you know what? It's a lot faster than having to cut it another way, and it does the job. So this is how I do my chopping. Please forgive me. We're renovating right now, so the spacing is a challenge. This is why I'm using this tiny cutting board, and yeah. But see, it's not perfect, but it's good enough for something that it's good enough for me. So this is how I cut my peppers. I chop the top off and the bottom off, and then I kind of slice down one side. I slice down one side, and then I kind of scoop out the middle. I said kind of again, but I ain't doing this video again, so please forgive me. I scoop out the middle, as you can see here. And it's all done in sort of like one motion, and it's really neat, and it helps it so that it's easier for you to cut into like dices. Because when you cut it just like straight in half and then you take the middle out, you have like these like arches at both sides, and it just makes it a little bit harder. So I just do this so that they're kind of more squared, and I cut them into manageable pieces. And then the dices for me are very easy. You can still obviously use the top and the bottom piece, which I'm going to show you how to do here as well, if you want to cut it into dices. Of course, it's not going to look the same as the rest because they're like curved, but no one's going to notice when it's all cooked up for sure. You're going to see me do the top. I decided to show one. And how you can still dice it so it can go with everything else. See, you can see like they're the same size. They still look fine. They're just a little bit curved because they're the top and bottom. Once it's cooked, you won't even notice. This has been a long video in a long time. So I added some celery because I love celery. Most people don't. And I added some cilantro and garlic. I didn't add any onion. The reason being is because I'm going to add some green onions like fresh at the end because I prefer the fresh taste of it. Of course, you can add an onion here. Like a red onion would be really nice for color. I'm just adding the same seasonings I've been using. So chili powder, curry powder, salt, pepper. And I didn't put any cinnamon here. I only use it on my sweet potatoes because I just always add a little bit of cinnamon to anything that I'm cooking with sweet potato. I don't know why. I just love the taste together. So I'm going to go ahead, and my stove right now is at like a medium-high heat. I want to get a good color on this, and like because zucchini gets mushy so fast, I want to try to cook it as quickly as possible and keep the crunch in all my other vegetables as well. And as you can see, like I'm pushing all the vegetables down to flatten them out because I want to get that color like as evenly as I possibly can on the bottom. Try not to squish it. Anyways, I haven't made a video in a very long time. I got so busy with work and everything else, but I'm going to be more consistent about this because this matters. And I hope that these videos help people. With I'm trying to improve on my camera quality. Bear with me. I am learning so many tricks. As you can see, I added even more cilantro and those green onions I was talking about just at the end. If you don't like cilantro, I love cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you can of course use like parsley or whatever herb that you like, as long as it's not too overpowering. Like rosemary, for instance, like that would be a very strong flavor here. Like, but if it's just thyme or parsley that you want to use instead, go for it. So this is me mixing together all of the things that I was prepping individually. So this is the sweet potato, what it looks like. You can, of course, go a little bit darker if you want. This is the vegetable mix. How's everybody doing just during the pandemic? This is the quinoa. I mean, I feel like, well, the pandemic is basically kind of over here. I live in Toronto, but I feel like I'm just sort of coming back to life. These are the black beans. Yeah, I feel like I'm just sort of coming back to life. Things are back to normal? Is that how everybody feels? Drop a comment. Let me know how you've been getting through this pandemic. These are my black beans, and this is it mixed all together. Of course, taste for seasoning. I tasted it, and I thought that it just needed to kick up something. So I actually go ahead and I add like a squeeze of lemon. You can use lime, or you could use vinegar. Like if you wanted to use a little bit of white vinegar or apple cider vinegar or something. This salad is really good, hot or cold. Like I ate it hot, and it was delicious, and this is what it looks like.